And good morning. This is Marshall Pitts.
Marshall Pitts.
And Myron Pitts is away today, but we do have Doc VIKKI in the house, and we are
MP3.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you for tuning in.
Is there a doctor in the house? I always like to say that when there's a doctor in the house.
I hope you're not sick.
We do have one. We do have one ready and available. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to your trio talk radio with Marshall, Nigel, and Myron, actually being Dr. VIKKI today. And we want to hope you had a very good week. And I want to say good morning to both of you. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I was telling the last show before they walked out. That
who walked out?
Yeah, but before they left the show before us. You never hear at that time, so you never get a chance to converse with those guys. It's a real good show. You ought to try getting here on time. But anyway, so I was talking with them guys. I was saying I was hoping we get something out that seat this week. We don't really get a lot out of that seat when Myron's here.
Right.
So maybe we'll get some production out that seat. It's usually 2/3, sometimes 1/3, depending on what kind of mood you in. But so hopefully get something out of that seat this week. Hopefully get a little something out of that seat this week. Right. Some better ratings out of that seat.
Right. So and Doc VIKKI, I'm assuming you had a good week as well. Is that right?
Absolutely. I just came back. I went to the motherland.
Oh, did you?
I just got back.
Okay, I did not realize that.
Motherland. What part of Europe did you go to?
As I was saying before, I so rudely.
Oh, you mean the other motherland? Okay,
There's
got you.
only one, son.
It's only one. Okay.
What parts did you go to?
I went to Accra.
Oh, really?
Ghana. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Went to Ghana. Okay. That's okay. I have not had the pleasure of going.
Nor I.
To the
It's a
mother.
must.
I think Myron.
Oh, it is. Everybody that's gone to tell you it's a life-changing experience.
So Myron is the only one of us
that's gone.
Yeah.
Right. He's been. Right. He has been. But anyway, we have to work on that, mind you. Make sure we get over there.
Well, Doc VIKKI didn't invite us, so I don't know who she went with, but we didn't get no invite. But every time somebody's missing from the show, we invite her on the show, but we can't get no invite to Africa. I guess it's different.
Oh, no, there's another way to interpret that statement he just said.
I'm just saying.
Let the record show.
I'm just saying.
Right. All right, so let's get started for today. We have Myron, even though he is not here, he sent us some topics that we, as you all are aware who listen to us regularly, that we typically go through our topics of discussion. And today we have quite a few, but we're going to narrow it down to, first of all, we're going to do a tribute to Claudette Colvin. If any of you that don't know Claudette Colvin, we'll let you know about her in just a few minutes. She was several months before the Rosa Parks. Everybody's heard of Rosa Parks, but not as many as heard of Claudette Colvin. We'll talk about her in Colvin, excuse me, and the tribute to her. Then we'll go to the awards ceremony, the Oscars.
Winners and losers.
We're gonna
make predictions on the show.
Well, we'll talk about that too. But it's historic because we have a black director over this movie called Sinners, who's been nominated for 16 nominations for Best Picture. That's the most ever in the history of the Oscars, and their brother has done that, so congratulations to him. Young guy, too. He's not even 40 years old. He's like 38, 39 years of age. But we'll talk about that. And
Has Spike got one yet? An Oscar? For Best Director?
He get one for.
I can't remember if he has. I know he was nominated for the Black Klansman not that long ago.
Negative. No, he had won one.
Okay. Well, then why didn't you just say that then?
That's rhetorical.
It's rhetorical.
It's like
okay.
Ryan Coogler's not going to win this. But we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead.
Right.
We'll go ahead with it.
And then, as our third topic of today, we're going to talk about NIL, name, image, and likeness money, and how college players are really, really beginning to reap the rewards of this. And we're going to talk specifically about a situation here in North Carolina where a quarterback, the Duke quarterback,
of all places.
Yeah, Duke guy Menza was his name.
We're talking about football now. I want to make sure the audience knows that.
Right.
Not basketball.
Mr. Menza is the forgot his first Darian Menza. He was taken to court by Duke because he wants to go into the portal, which we'll talk about and get into in the story, because he wants to go to Miami and leave Duke and go to Miami. And see, I believe he thinks he can make more money in name, image, and likeness down there in Florida. But anyway, those are our topics for today. So let's get started.
We actually could have probably added another topic because Myron's not here.
Well, we'll see what happens. You know, we can. Nothing's restricting us.
Vicky don't talk as much as Myron. No one talks as much as Myron.
With your
so
with your astute and highly intelligent and organized brother, if we need to add stuff, we can do that. That's no problem. It's not like when we have your baby brother here in charge of that particular aspect of the show.
Let's move on. I'm sorry I went down that road. Let's move on.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about Claudette Colvin. First of all, I want to know. It'd be interesting to know by way of poll how many of our listeners are familiar with Miss Colvin. And the reason we're talking about her,
you gave her the numbers.
The numbers to call in. I'm sorry, 910-483-6111, 910-483-6111. If you want to call in and participate in our conversations. We always welcome that. And so, the reason we're talking about Ms. Colvin today is, unfortunately, she recently passed away. She was 86 years of age, and I thought it would be important to recognize her because she was, before Rosa Parks, this young lady at 15 years of age, down there in Montgomery, Alabama, was on the bus, a high school student, and when she got to the bus driver, when other people were added to the transportation, to the bus that day, of course some of them were white individuals, and in particular a white female didn't have anywhere to sit, and so the bus driver, of course, as they did back then, got up and told the young lady, the 15-year-old, you need to get up so this white lady can sit down. And this young lady, Miss Colvin, 15 years old at the time, refused. She said, "I'm not getting up. I paid for my bus ticket, and this is where I want to sit." Now, just think about that. Let that marinate for a second. A 15-year-old kid in Montgomery, Alabama, in 1950, was it 52, I believe it was? Just think about that. 55, I believe it was, in which, is segregation going on, all kinds of racial stuff in place, and a 15-year-old has the courage to tell a white male bus driver that she's not getting up from her seat. And that's exactly what happened. So, of course, as soon as she said that, as soon as she refused to do so, they brought, police on the bus. They jacked her up pretty good and cuffed her, arrested her, and took her to jail, where I don't know how long she stayed there. But
look, if you look at the story, it talks about one. Of course, we know she did not walk off the bus voluntarily. She was jailed for violating bus segregation ordinances,
right,
disturbing the peace, and assaulting an officer. Right. Wonder where that came in at. Assaulting an officer. Was she swinging?
That's not uncommon. Was
she swinging, though? That's what I want to know.
Well.
At 15, was she throwing bows? I'm thinking about 15. Of course she was not.
Well, again, a testament, to her courage, that that was a very dangerous thing to do back then. Kid or no kid, that's a very dangerous thing to do, and she had the courage to do that. But you didn't, as we're bringing it up, because you didn't, nobody really knows a lot about this situation that occurred. If you ask the average American citizen who Claudette Colvin is, they don't know who that is. If you ask a greater number of them who Rosa Parks was, they will know that.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask about the average, because I'm thinking the average American probably would struggle to think about who Rosa Parks is. Right.
Now. Well, in this day and age, yes, particularly our younger people. I would probably agree with that. But so she was jailed. She got out on bail later. The story doesn't tell us how much later, but she did say that when she was in jail, she was crying and everything, which you expect. She's 15 years old.
This is why history is so important. She said at the time, because NPR, they had interviewed her a while back, right? When she was still, and so she said, "I remembered I was just too full of Black history," and she felt that Sojourner Truth was on one side pushing me down, and Harriet Tubman was on the other side pushing her down.
When she said pushing her down, she means kept her in the seat.
Kept her in the seat.
Yeah,
wouldn't let her get up. Wouldn't let her move her feet and get up out that seat like this man, this bus driver, man or woman, whoever it was asking her to do at that time. And so that means that she knows history. You know that during that time, Sojourner Truth had all that stuff was taught in schools. And so now we know. We talked about it last week on our show that the education piece, the Black history piece, is lost in our schools, and they're trying to get rid of it altogether.
Right.
So she knew her history, and her history was what was keeping her from moving her feet in those dangerous situations.
Very dangerous. And to get to further illustrate how dangerous this was, well, I guess most of our listeners here on WID, we have an older audience. You exactly know what I'm talking about. But for some of the younger people that may be listening or watching on YouTube or Facebook, just here in North Carolina, up there in Durham, World War II, a veteran came home, was riding the bus, and the same thing happened. They said, well, you need to get up and move. And they had the veteran was like, I served my country, blah, blah, blah. I should be able to, sit or do whatever I want to, here on the bus. Bus driver didn't like it. And it ended up and pulled out a pistol and shot the black guy dead. And I hate that I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
We talked about that on MP3.
Right. And was exonerated. I don't think he, at the end of the day, was ever even convicted of anything. But that's the kind of danger we're talking about. That's what I'm trying to illustrate here. That this young girl was encountering by taking such a stand. So, flash forward 9 months. 9 months, then you have Rosa Parks on the scene, on the bus. She was a seamstress going, I think she had just gotten off work or going to work, I can't remember. Same thing happened. They told her to get up. She refused. She was arrested. But Rosa Parks was also
an adult.
She was an adult, and she was a secretary for the local Montgomery NAACP. So she was a
better victim.
Yeah, we always talk. We always talk about this in criminal justice when we discuss this on MP3. Who the victim is makes all the difference in the world of how things will go.
Oh yeah.
And so, and NAACP kind of knew, this was a great situation because Rosa Parks was, I think she was in her 40s at the time. Never no kind of criminal record or anything. She, very respected member of the community. She was an attractive woman. She checked all the boxes of the person they wanted to put forward as the identity of this injustice. Okay, and so compare that with Claudette Colvin, a young 15-year-old teenager. The optics just don't work as well, and so that's why she's more obscured in history than Rosa Parks was.
Well, it's calculated, because they knew the weight of what was getting ready to happen with this boycott.
Right.
And would you even really want to put all of that on a teenager, a 15-year-old, because they knew that this person was going to have to go through something. Right. Rosa Parks had to go through, they had to go through, whatever mean-spirited, aggressive, violent type tactics that were going to be going on as far as the bus boycott goes. And of course, that launched the civil rights movement that led to a whole bunch of other things that went on. So they had to have the right person but now that doesn't mean that Claudette Colvin was forgotten in history as far as that goes. They used her circumstances also in the civil rights case.
Yeah, she was a primary witness in the civil rights litigation about making segregation in bus transportation illegal. The Supreme Court made it illegal, and she, as a result of her testimony and other witnesses, when they sued in federal court, a guy by the name of Fred Gray, who was a great civil rights attorney, brother, who made all this happen. So
now you think about it. She said she felt, and we talked about Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, but she said she felt the weight of that history on her shoulders. Right. So now my question to you is, you have a teenager, and Myron, just newly minted teenager, just turned 13, a newly minted teenager. Yeah. Do you think they feel the weight of any type of history on their shoulders?
I wouldn't say it's like that at all. I think it's we've lost a lot of that, and I would blame our generation.
No, most definitely.
Yeah, our generation for that. Yeah, because the kids,
current parents.
Yeah, the kids
Yes.
do not know. They're just not connected like that. As you get further removed from the injustice, then
The education piece becomes that much more important.
That much more important, but that's where the ball is being dropped.
You think about it, how you and I and Myron learned about anything about Black history. We learned it from my mom and dad, and from those books they made us read. They tortured us into reading when we were coming along. You remember you talked many times on this show about that almanac. I think it was a black almanac
Negro almanac.
Negro almanac.
I think, come on now, it's important. Negro almanac.
Negro almanac. I was trying to hand that off to you, but you were playing over there on the phone.
No, I was looking up Fred Gray.
My question is, did you all just want to have a conversation between the two of you? Because you were trying to hand it off to him.
Not Vic.
I'm just asking.
Not Vic.
You gotta jump in where you fit in, Doc Vic.
You've been on this show long enough to know that you got to get in where you fit in.
We're not gonna hand it off to you. We just gonna say
But
jump
you were getting
in.
ready to hand it off to him, though.
Go right ahead, Doc Vic.
Just a couple
You need to
things.
put Marshall in his place every now and then.
Go ahead,
So
Doc Vic.
just a couple of things. I really would be interested because the NAACP, when they were looking for a face
Yes.
of this, they chose Rosa
They
Parks.
did.
Part of the reason they chose her was because Claudette was pregnant, and they didn't think that was a they didn't think that would
was
be
the
a
right
good look.
That was the right look.
So
right.
that's part of it too.
Yeah, that's a bad look. Especially doing that beard at 55.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15. Yeah.
And so even when the story is told, a lot of times you don't, and not that it's to be negative about her, but I think it's much more an indictment of what the thinking was at the time.
Right.
And the other piece I'll say that we were just talking about whether our kids feel the weight like she did. Absolutely not. Our kids are a victim of our success.
Okay.
And so I think that we wanted, in our desire to have things better for our kids, we've lost something.
That's a good point, Doc Vic. A lot of parents, they want to protect or shield their kids from having to deal with negative things, and a lot of times speaking of some of these parents' mind and speaking about the past and all the things that black folks went through and minorities in general, they just think it has a negative, can have a negative impact on them, and so that's the way many parents see it, and so they don't even talk about it. You can.
So is that protecting them though?
No, it's not. But I'm saying
Temporarily. Temporarily.
Well, yeah.
But long term, the impact, I don't even think we know. I'll just tell you a quick story. When I was about 10, I had a cross burned outside my bedroom window. Now, my son will never have that experience, won't know what that is. That's never going to happen. But
We hope.
I remember like it happened yesterday. Like it happened yesterday.
Right.
And so those kinds of things, that's why when I say a victim of our success.
Right. Yeah,
But
that
we
makes
still
sense.
have to make sure we tell the story.
That makes sense. So I don't know what's the best. The story's not getting told, and we live in a more dangerous time as far as history goes, because now we have active efforts to either erase or
So you say
change
whitewash is the word you're looking for.
change the narrative of what happened.
It's whitewashing.
And so whitewash, right? And so that's a very
Literally
strong,
and figuratively.
that's a very strong movement that's out there now, and which is, before it was more just we just don't talk about the history. Just kind of keep it on the road. There's no need to go back into all the atrocities that were done, blah, blah. Let's just move forward. Let's move forward as a country. That was the effort before. Now it's taking a different level, going to the different level and saying, let's not just talk about it. Let's just either get rid of it altogether or, tell something totally opposite of what actually happened to change the narrative. So
What I am always
and that's a different thing that's going on now than what was going on before.
and what I am surprised about, and Marsh, you and Doc Vicky might say, well, this is just me being naive, But I am surprised about how easy that is to do. It is very easy to get rid of certain things in school and to keep the people who should know things, which is all of us, ignorant when it comes to certain things. That it has happened so fast. It has happened so fast that I was thinking to myself that they can't do. When we first started talking about this a couple of years ago, when they first started trying to whitewash history, but the thing that came to my mind was January 6th. Look how easily they have made January 6th seem like a bunch of peaceful protesters. There are a lot of people, even with what you saw on TV in front of your eyes. Video. Usually video will be like,
that's the game.
That's usually people say, well,
okay.
where's the camera, where's the video? But you had video. And there are people who really believe, who've convinced themselves to believe that it was a peaceful protest.
So I don't know that I would say easy. It's been a campaign and a concerted effort to change history.
Right. And to a large extent, is having some success. To a large extent, and that's the scary thing that Michael was talking about. I mean, how could that be? I mean, you would never think, with looking at something like that as it was happening, that just a couple years later, that we would there would be it'd be so questionable or so changed in such a way that it wasn't really as bad as it was
that
portrayed.
Was on TV live as it was happening.
Right.
I remember because I was at the house watching it.
Right.
And I was saying to myself, these people taking over the Capitol.
So
they're getting ready to get inside and start harming folks and start hurting people.
And we it was just so amazing. We were like, when they broke in, stormed the Capitol and broke in, I just couldn't believe it, man. And without any, I always tell people, change the races.
Be a lot of dead people.
Of those people breaking into the Capitol from primarily white males to primarily black guys, storming the Capitol and breaking into the Capitol.
They wouldn't have gotten that far.
Right. Just imagine. Well, you know what? If everybody's being honest, they would know exactly. It would have been a much different response. Much different response.
Well, first of all, and the brothers would know that too, because they would have tried that. they know exactly what would happen. There'd be no doubt about what would happen to that response too.
And to further confirm that, remember when we the Million Man March in 1995? One of the things of everybody that went to that thing was like, guys, make sure we stay calm, stay peaceful, whatever. Because everybody knew if things start going sideways, they knew what the situation was going to be and what was going to happen. And so, but that's a lot. Go back to this January 6th. None of that. In fact, it was a while before anybody even got arrested, if I remember correctly. It was.
Think about it, and that's what I meant by when I was thinking about history. I was thinking about history and how it can change history. That was recent history, and that history was just a few years back. So, and we're talking about how they changed that history, how it's seen that it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. It started with a whole bunch of conversation afterwards, but then the pardons, and then so now it seems like that wasn't a big deal. And so that was merely 4 years ago, right? So
no, it wasn't 4 years ago. What's the day? 26. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, it was. Yeah.
So we're talking about the recent history. So if it's that easy to change the recent history, things that we have video for and can see, then it's a lot easier in my mind. That's what I was thinking. It's a lot easier in my mind to change far away, especially 1955, 56.
More remote history.
More remote history where people don't know their history anyway.
Right.
It would be interesting to see how history treats that incident.
January 6th?
Yes, because there's this whitewashing trying to erase it, rewrite it currently. But in 50 years from now, how will they see?
And see, the thing about it is, and you're correct, the thing about it is, if you just Google that, if you dropped in here from the moon, okay, and you didn't know anything about January 6th, and you heard somebody talking about it, and you put it on YouTube, there's 50 videos that shows you what was going on January 6th. The breaking of the windows, the running through the Capitol, the chasing where they had the Congress people that was
the legislators, they were afraid.
They were afraid. They were terrified.
And for good reason.
And for good reason.
Absolutely.
You had some people there that if they had caught up with someone like Nancy Pelosi or someone like that, she would have. Oh, then Mike Pence.
Mike Pence. They were looking for both of them. They were looking for those folks.
They were actively looking for them. Now, what did they think they were going to do if they pat them on the back? Good job.
Well, they did have that gallows built out there.
Yes.
Anyway. But anyway, we digress. But the point being that a lot of times history, the true history often gets obscured, and the people who were great players don't get recognized like they should. And we'll go to break, and we'll be right back with MP3.
This is Pastor M.J. Wade, pastor of Perfected Saints Family Worship Center, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and you are listening to Wake Up.
Chances for a significant to potentially severe winter storm this weekend continue to increase. Exact details remain unclear, however. It's expected to be a lot of ice. Transportation crews are gearing up for what could be the most significant winter storm to hit North Carolina in a while, with pre-treatment of roads started yesterday. The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage as requests from hospitals exceed the available supply of blood. Former special counsel Jack Smith, who pursued 2 criminal cases against President Trump, never got to make his case before a jury. But he was on the hot seat yesterday before a House committee. As discussions continue over the future of a UNC basketball arena, we're hearing from Chancellor Lee Roberts. He says they're trying to have an inclusive process before making any decision. Mike Rayleigh, NCI News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Sex Offender Registration Unit responded to a report on January 21st involving an individual allegedly exposing himself in the Judge E. Morris Braswell Cumberland County Courthouse. Detectives identified the offender as 27-year-old Jason Hammonds. Hammonds is a registered sex offender on the North Carolina Sex Offender and Public Protection Registry. He was apprehended and charged with indecent exposure by the Sheriff's Office SORU detectives on January 21st. Law enforcement agencies are joining efforts to address the growing concern of careless and reckless driving along the I-295 corridor. That is an issue that continues to put drivers' lives at risk. On Thursday, January 25th, 5 until 11:30 p.m., members of multiple law enforcement agencies teamed up to save lives. As a result of the initiative, 131 citations were issued that included 120 speeding violations, careless and reckless, and no operator's license. From
Good Friday morning. We start your day with cloudy skies and temperatures colder in the upper 30s with a brief shower possible. Some more brief showers are possible mainly before lunchtime today. We'll keep increased cloud cover. Highs will only reach the mid-40s to around 50 degrees this afternoon. Even colder overnight into Saturday morning with temperatures dropping to the upper 20s. Our chances for freezing rain and sleet start later in the day on Saturday. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
Wake up, catch the vision, join the team. This is Pastor Reginald Johnston of My Father's House Christian Church right here in Fayetteville. We want you to wake up and join the team. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's good when we come together. We're one body, many parts. We desire that you wake up and join the team. It's good to be a part of Wake Up. Wake up, join the team. We will see you in Jesus' name. God bless you.
Hi, this is T.W. Campbell.
And I'm Patricia Campbell
of the Refuge Community Church, located at 2314 L.A. Dunham Road here in the God Bless city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. You can reach us at area code 910-483-6477. We're here to invite you to our early morning service each Sunday morning beginning at 8:30 in the morning. Our prayer is at 6 o'clock. Our intercessory prayer. Bible studies at 7 o'clock, which now is our Sunday school at night, and which we call the Word on Wednesday. Come and be a part of a growing community. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the legacy continues. This moment in history with Dr. King is being brought to you by Rockfish Memorial Park and Mausoleum, Highway 301 South in Fayetteville.
You can accept it. You will leave those state troopers glutted with their own barbarity. If you can accept it, you will do something that will transform conditions here in Alabama. And so I'm not worried this afternoon, however dark it may be, however difficult it may be. I know that it is true, the truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yes, sir. That is another part of that great statement. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadows, keeping watch above his own. William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed the earth will rise again. The Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome.
This moment in history with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was brought to you by Rockfish Memorial Park and Mausoleum. Call 425-1923 for pre-need planning. Rockfish Memorial Park and Mausoleum, 301 South in Fayetteville.
And we are back with Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
And Myron Pitts is away today, but we have Doc VIKKI in the house, and we are
MP3.
Welcome back, everybody. If you just tuned in, we were just wrapping up a section on Miss Claudette Colvin, often unheralded, unrecognized person from the civil rights movement, who was the first person in Montgomery, Alabama, to not give up her seat due to segregation at 15 years of age. And we want to recognize her and say we appreciate what she did, sacrifices she made for the civil rights movement. Now, we have to, and by the way, I was giving an example of how courageous she was at 15 years old to stand up to the bus driver and say she wasn't getting up. I was comparing it to the situation we had here in Durham, North Carolina, and I couldn't remember the young man's name, and I apologize for it. Booker T. Spicely was his name. Booker T. Spicely, shot down in Durham, North Carolina in 1944, World War II veteran coming home, and was forced to,
survive that over there
to come home and be subjected to Jim Crow segregation. And when he refused to capitulate, the bus driver shot him dead. So that just shows all the things that were going on and what people had to go through to get us to where we are now. And now there's a push to roll back the clock, in my opinion, on a lot of different things.
Not a push to, they're rolling it back.
To roll the clock back. All right, so let's go to the Oscars. And this is modern day history being made, in that we have a young man by the name of Ryan Coogler, Coogler, who is making history. He is the first, he's a black director, and his movie Sinners is the first movie to ever garner 16 Oscar nominations. That's never happened before in the history of the Oscars. And this young
has anyone ever lost 16? This is the first one that's garnered that many, so no one has ever made history by losing 16 Oscar nominations either.
You mean, has there ever been a chance when a movie's got that many Oscar nominations and still not gotten the Oscar? Is that what you're asking? I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened. So I know what you're getting ready to say.
The first time
it's
for
going
everything,
to happen this time.
The Oscar's going to go to one battle after another. I'm saying that right here on the show. So I just want to make sure you hear that.
You remember when it was Oscar So White? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So this is not that. So they say, okay, now we're good. We can go back to what we were doing before.
Right. Well, to say this, he is the author, the director. If any of you, I know, Maj, you probably did. Doc Vic, did you ever see the movie Fruitvale Station?
Yes, I did.
Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, Fruitvale Station.
Good movie.
Great movie. And that was the debut of Michael P. Jordan, who's also the lead.
Movie debut.
Movie debut for Michael P. Jordan. And so these two paired up again in Sinners. And so Michael Jordan is now up for an Oscar nomination for the first time ever. So it's good to see both these guys who kind of started off together now reconvening and being nominated.
It's got one of my my favorite actors too, Delroy Lindo.
I've always liked Delroy Lindo. And they said that was he was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, actor, and he's been out there in the game for a long, long time. He's been in some good movies too.
Spike Lee's boy. Spike Lee always have him in his movies. He's in a lot of Spike Lee stuff.
Not just not just Spike Lee stuff, but he's been in other things as well.
Great actor.
I liked him really a whole lot in that movie when they were the baseball movie, when they were talking about the Negro League. He was in that movie.
Right.
I forgot what he was. Satchel Paige.
He was Satchel Paige in that movie. He sure was.
Right. And that was a good movie. Very good movie. But anyway, he's done a lot of good work. But finally, he's being recognized for his work. It would be great if he could come away with a supporting actor. I mean,
it's not gonna happen. Okay. So now, my question is to you guys and Doc. You guy and Doc, Vicky, is how many you think they're gonna come away with? How many you think this movie?
I forgot to say this about Mr. Coogler. He was also, if any of you saw the movie Creed, mind you like the Creed movies, and Black Panther. So this guy, he has a very strong resume, one of the strongest out there.
I couldn't see whether he didn't direct Black Panther, though, did he?
No, he didn't.
Right,
So
he was one of the
Judas and
producers.
the Black Messiah?
That's right. That's
great
right.
movie.
Right. Right.
So, you know, we have these nominations, okay? And it's sort of like, same thing happens in sports all the time. You but you have a bunch of people who might win the award.
The only one that's really going to win.
Yeah, there's only one that really has a chance to win the award. And the nomination people know who that is. And trust me when I tell you, it's not Sinners.
So ask AI quite quick to see what AI tells you.
Oh, AI going to tell you one battle after another. Because AI is smart. So something else would have to happen for Sinners to win Best Picture over one battle after another. I don't know what that will be at this point. But
you're basing that on the race of the people involved. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I base that on. Yes. Yes. But now I will say this. I haven't seen either movie. I haven't seen one battle after another, and I have not seen.
I haven't seen one battle. Have you seen either one of those movies?
No, I have not.
I've never seen.
I've seen Sinners. But it's a different take. I guess we need to tell people what the movie is about. It's
vampires.
Well, yeah, but it's actually it's a different take on vampires. It's these two brothers that are home from the World War II, I believe.
And you really mean they're playing brothers?
Well, it was a war. I can't remember which one they were coming home from.
But you mean they're actually playing brothers in the movie?
Yeah. It's one guy, Michael Jordan. He's playing.
He plays both of them.
Right.
Twin brothers. He's playing both.
Right, twin brothers. And they come home and they opened up a
which is a feat within itself.
Right. They opened up a juke joint, and at the juke joint they had they were being attacked by these people who had been turned to vampires there in the South, and you had also the racism built in with the police and everything, and how they were dealing with that. So it's all rolled into one. Vampires, Southern racism in Mississippi during that time frame, and black people trying to be entrepreneurs, and
that's a lot for a losing picture for the Oscars. That's a lot.
but
that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
But the thing why I got so many Oscar nominations is because that's a different take on the vampire piece. You don't even expect that because it's just going like a regular Jim Crow South, racism type situation that they're dealing with, and then some of these people end up being vampires, and it's very interesting. Very interesting.
So
I was not that.
They'll win. They will win. Okay, so the Oscar. They're going to lose. Someone else is going to win the Oscars for Best Actor, Best Picture.
Now that I might agree with you on.
Best Actor,
I don't think
Best Supporting Actor. Someone else is going to win for all three of those. Now, past that, when you got, I don't know, they have all kind of stuff, theatricals, and casting. They got all that
now,
stuff.
Now, casting is new.
Yeah,
that's a new award
new.
this year.
Okay, so they might win something like that. They might win something.
Set design,
costumes,
right.
All that kind of
Musical
stuff.
Score.
But the big stuff, the movie of the year, actor, actress of the year, and those type of things, supporting actor and supporting actress of the year. They're not going to win those.
I think now I would tend to agree with you on maybe some of the actor nods, but I still think the picture itself, the movie itself, has a good shot of winning the whole thing. May not win it, but it's got a very good shot. Not the Michael P. Jordan as actor and Delroy Lindo as the supporting. I want them to win, but I don't think their odds are as good as the movie itself winning the Oscar. So I agree with you to a certain extent.
So you're saying that a movie that is directed by Ryan Coogler. So now,
why are you saying it like that? Why are you saying the man's name like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
What are you saying?
The reason why I'm saying it that way is because you're saying that a movie directed by him is going to win, because if they give the movie Best Picture, then there's a very good chance they have to give the director Best Director.
Right.
He directs this picture.
Right.
Neither one of those are going to happen. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because then you put yourself in a box. Because you're not saying you're going to give him best. You're going to give him Best Picture.
Can't give him Best Picture
and then turn around and give him. Now I'm sure that happens. It probably happens all the time. I'm sure that happens, but
it makes it harder to do that.
It makes it harder to do that. And so what I'm saying, they're not going to win Best Picture, because you got to turn around and have serious consideration. Because then people like me are going to be asking questions. Well, they got Best Picture. Right. Why didn't he get Best Director?
So you're saying they'll say, well, we're just going to stay away from the black stuff.
And then if you want to know how hard it
we gave you
is,
16. Be happy with that.
If you want to know how hard it is, somebody call Spike. Ask Spike how hard it is to win that Best Director and Best Picture and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's just difficult to do when you look at the and Oscar so white.
Ava DuVernay would be first.
They would do what now?
What?
I would think she would be first. Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got all kind of people that have been what we consider passed over, but again, it's based on what a person likes.
Yeah.
You and I might go to the theater and we might love Sinners, and we watch one battle after another, and we don't particularly care for that movie. It just depends on what a person likes. And so you're asking, I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people vote on the Oscars, but it's a bunch of them.
Right.
Former actors, producers,
It is. It's a lot of people.
It's a bunch of people, but those people might say to themselves when they go to one battle after another and versus Sinners, I like this movie better because of this.
I saw Sinners, and it was okay,
It was right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So you wouldn't even give the Oscar nod.
No. But I thought it was very creative. I really did. I didn't like I wasn't. I thought the movie was okay, but I thought it was extremely creative, and I watched the very beginning of One Battle After Another, and I was having a difficult time getting through that one in the beginning, but I didn't fully give it a chance because I was busy doing other stuff. But I'll go back and revisit it and then see what happens.
Because one battle after another is over several years or something. I mean, something like that. It evolves.
The beginning was a little tough for me.
I haven't seen either one, so I can't judge them. I can't judge them based on that. But so you're saying the creative part was good? See, Doc Vicky, they're gonna get a creative Oscar. If they're gonna get a creative Oscar, he said the creative part was good for Sinners.
Right.
So you saw Sinners, and it was just okay to you.
It was a decent movie to me.
Doc Vicky don't stand a chance.
No, but
the brothers are saying it's just decent.
No, but I'm not indicative because I can tell you the other people I know that have seen it, they really loved it. They really loved it. I'm the anomaly. I'm the guy that was like, it was decent.
I would say I saw Wicked. I just saw Wicked. I had never seen it. I was like, oh, for real? This is it?
Wicked.
Yeah, and they sing rave reviews about. Yeah, I saw Wicked. I saw Wicked too. Yeah.
It didn't do it for me.
I knew I wouldn't like that. So there ain't no. When I saw him singing, I said, no, that's not for me. So I'm a bad person to judge that one because I know that wouldn't be for me.
Right. But anyway, we got to move on for this last story. We got a few minutes left. Good luck to Mr. Jordan. Good luck to Mr. Kugler as far as the Oscars go. Good luck to Delroy Lindo. I really hope all three of those persons come away with some hardware after the Oscars are done, but we'll see how it goes.
But I noticed I got you on record as saying you think they're going to win what now? Best Picture?
Yeah, I do. I do think
you think Sinners is going to win Best Picture?
I do.
And what else you got?
That's it as far as
Doc Vicky. We'll get you on record.
I got nothing.
You sitting there?
I got nothing.
I've
not seen any of them, so there you go.
That's one of the things. Sitting in MYRON's seat, he would say the same thing. He don't have it. He don't have an opinion. What way another on that?
So now you feel right at home. So nothing's changed.
Right.
But I just don't see it. I'm going on record as saying I just don't see the big. I shouldn't say the big ones. The ones that everyone noticed.
Right.
Which is Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Supporting Actor, all of those type things. I think it's going to be they're not going to win any of those. I think it's going to be some other things that they win when it comes to that.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's move on now to our last story of the day, where we're going up to Durham, back to Durham. We talked about Durham earlier, but now we have a situation in sports where the Duke quarterback, a guy by the name of Darian Menza, he was their starting quarterback this year. He led them to the ACC football championship game, and that's unusual for Duke.
So can we put a pin in it right there?
What?
As an alum, let me tell you, unusual is putting it mildly. Horrible football.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I'm sorry, I digress.
Right, that's right. We have a Duke grad right here in the studio. Doc Vicky went to Duke, and she can tell you about Duke football. It has not been not been pretty.
So
and I didn't know, because you and I talked about this guy before. I knew he had led them to the ACC championship, which was very unusual for Duke, but also I found out that he was second team ACC. I was like, but he's getting paid $4 million a year in NIL money at Duke, who didn't even make the first ACC team in the ACC. And it's just
a good gig if you can get it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But when we first started talking about the story, so the story is about how Duke has
filed an injunction
so that he cannot move
go
on.
into the portal.
He can't go into the name, image, and likeness. He can't go into a portal and go somewhere else.
Yeah,
which would be his third team. He came from Tulane last year, before last year. Then he came to Duke.
Now he wants to go to Miami.
Now he wants to go to Miami to play football down there. And the Duke is saying that. See, now I didn't know this until I read the story. I don't know a lot about the name, image, and likeness, but you sign contracts.
Right.
And so he signed a contract that will make him stay there for 2 years.
2 years.
So that's how we found out about the salary.
Right.
So Duke quarterback.
$4 million
a Duke quarterback is making $8 million over 2 years.
A student at Duke.
But see, it's not just.
We were in athletics a little too soon, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Oh yeah, I think about that, but I see what these kids are making now. It's like, man, I could have been making some dough back then.
Not in track and field.
Yeah.
Not in track and field.
In those Olympic years,
you could make something. But
I would have made some money. I'm telling you.
At App State, you're not gonna make $4 million. Or anywhere else, for that matter, not for track and field. But like Doc Vick said, maybe in the Olympic years and stuff like that, people when there's more emphasis on track and field.
Right.
But I was stunned.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
He signed
when
a contract
I saw that,
for name, image, and likeness money for $4 million a year for 2 years. This guy signed a contract.
So when I looked it up, what the NFL makes. The minimum contract in the NFL to play. If you make a team, you're making $840,000.
Right.
You're not making any. People think
it's
it's
minimum league salary, right?
Minimum league salaries. And so that means if you go undrafted or if you go drafted in later rounds, you're going to make $840,000. And then over the course of your career, if you get better, you sign up different contracts. My point is there's no incentive for a guy to leave college.
Right.
There's no incentive
Not
now.
These days. Not these days.
And then on top of that, this Duke quarterback has to look at it. Am I going to be a star? Am I going to get drafted? Am I going to be a star in the pros?
Right.
And the answer to that question is no. He's not.
So
he might go to the pros, and he might be drafted because obviously the dude can play.
Right.
And so, but he might go to the pros, he might get drafted, and those type of things. But it's another level when it comes to. So now, college players are staying longer. NBA, WNBA players when they're in college, they're staying longer.
Oh yeah,
because they definitely can make more money in college
than they
would
be
able to in the pros.
Right.
And so they're starting to stay longer. So someone's got to stop this stuff. Okay, let's start. NIL's gotten out of control. I think we can all agree with that. Step one is you should not be allowed to transfer 3 or 4 times. You got to put it, and they're looking at that. You got to put a cap on the transfer.
How many transfers you can have?
I've always been in favor of them making money, and I think they should make a lot of money. So I don't have any problem with him making. For me, I was just shocked by a Duke quarterback, not a Duke basketball player now.
Right.
A Duke quarterback making $4 million a year. So I was shocked by that. So I don't have any problem with the money, but I'm saying for any type of continuity in any sport, you got to know that you're going to have this player for a certain period of time.
Right.
And that's what makes
because right now the coaches who are being successful are those coaches who can quickly get a team to jail for that 1 year and do good things. And that's very difficult to do.
This guy's not the caliber of this. Mendoza? That's the Heisman Trophy winner? Is it Mendoza?
Mendoza.
No.
Mendoza.
The Heisman Trophy
Oh, the
winner.
Heisman. Okay, yeah, Mendoza.
He's not that caliber player. Is that what we're saying? What are we saying?
Well, what I'm saying, is Menza or Mendoza not gonna get it done in the pros. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's
be like journeyman.
You might as well you can stay in. Why I would stay in college. I would stay in college as long as I could, unless I knew that I'm going to be a top 10 or first round or early second round pick. Other than that, I'm staying in college and make this money while I can. The pros is not going. The pros is not going anywhere.
Right.
It's not going anywhere.
I don't have any problem with. I don't think that NIL piece part of it is a problem for me. Let these kids make that money. Because they've been
transferring, but
they've been disenfranchised for so long. College athletes, everybody, especially these big schools and these revenues generating sports, basketball and football, they have been getting exploited for generations, man.
No problem with that.
Everybody making money except the kids. I mean, the boosters, the coaches, it's just money being made everywhere.
No problem with that,
except for the student athlete.
But you should not. You should.
They're putting in the real work.
If you look at Menza, so Menza is saying. So I'm assuming he's thinking he's going to make more money at Miami, which is probably true.
Probably true.
Miami made the championship game this year. They lost. Their quarterback is being forced out. He can't. He's done. His eligibility is over. He's played for Georgia and some other stuff. He's gone. So he's got to go to the pros. He's got no choice but to go out to the wilderness now and go to the pros.
But that's another thing I like about it is that it gives these kids who 98% of them will never play.
No, it's higher than that.
Yeah, 99% of them will never play in the
Never
pros.
play in the pros.
They won't. They won't. They won't play in the
pros. And the
pros.
ones that do get, a lot of ones that do get, they will get a cup of coffee.
Right.
And those type of things. They might be able to smoke them a cigarette, but that's how long their career is going to last in the pros. It's just not going to happen. So it helps all of these people to be able to earn some revenue for what they're doing, because they're making money for the school. It's 12:01. Yeah.
Why'd you have to turn the clock around? Was that necessary?
I mean, no one knew it. They can't see it, but I got to find some way to shut you down. You like get up on that big soapbox.
All right. Well, we got to get ready to get out of here. We have run out of time. I want to thank you for tuning in. I am Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
And Myron Pitts is away today, but we do have Doc VIKKI in the studio, and we are MP3. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Stay safe.
Stay safe this weekend now.
That's right. Bye-bye.